When I heard on Saturday night that the anti-abortion Stupak amendment was going to pass as part of health reform, I was racking my brains. Stupak. Why does that name sound so familiar? And then I remembered. Look, I
don't mean this disrespectful, but, I've been on the Hill for 14 years, and we all know Mark Foley has a different lifestyle than most of us. And when this should have set off all kinds of alarms. But if you know the person has a little different lifestyle, you know that you warn the pages when they come in that don't get too friendly with this guy.
That was Michigan's Democratic Congressman Bart Stupak on My Air America radio show back in 2006, talking about former Republican Congressman Mark Foley, volunteering to me out of the blue that everyone should have seen coming Mark Foley's problem with harassing teenage congressional pages, since after all, the dude was afflicted with the gay, and everybody knew it. Mr. Stupak's name also rang a bell for me because of C Street. Conservative Democrat Bart Stupak lives at the townhouse on C Street, operated by the secretive religious group The Family. The anti-abortion Stupak amendment is technically called the Stupak-Pitts Amendment for its co-sponsor, Pennsylvania Republican Congressman Joe Pitts. And it turns out Mr. Pitts, also a core member of C Street's The Family. So Stupak and Pitts of Stupak-Pitts are both C Streeters. And as negotiations approached a vote in the House on health reform, Mr. Stupak promised that a coalition of 40 anti-abortion Democrats would vote for the health reform bill if and only if the Stupak-Pitts anti-abortion amendment passed. In the end, 26 of those Democrats voted for Stupak-Pitts and against the health reform bill that included it anyway. Included in that group of 26 were Democrats like Missouri's Ike Skelton, reportedly a member of The Family. North Carolina's Mike McIntyre, reportedly a member of The Family. Tennessee's John Tanner, reportedly a member of The Family. Lincoln Davis, also of Tennessee, also reportedly a member of The Family. Oklahoma's Dan Boren, reportedly a member of The Family. Another Democrat who voted for the Stupak-Pitts amendment and against the health reform bill, former NFL quarterback and North Carolina Democrat Heath Shuler, who also reportedly lives at C Street, but who weirdly recently wouldn't confirm that information to his hometown newspaper. If 2 is a coincidence and 3 is a trend, what's 8? Because C Street shares the same code of silence as Fight Club, none of its members can be counted on to be forthright about the family's role in trading the promise of votes for a regressive anti-abortion amendment. What is clear is that C Street isn't at all just for Republican lawmakers. Joining us now is Jeff Sharlet, author of The Family, The Secret Fundamentalism at the Heart of American Power. He's also a contributing editor to Harper's Magazine. Jeff, it's nice to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Rachel. Great to be here.
What are Congressman Stupak and Congressman Pitts' connections to C Street and The Family? Is one of them more deeply involved than the other?
Yeah, well, Congressman Pitts has been involved with The Family since 1976. In the 1980s, he was instrumental in bringing anti-abortion politics into this kind of elite fundamentalism that until that point had been focused on economics and foreign affairs. Bart Stupak, meanwhile, has been living at C Street since 2002, when he told the Los Angeles Times, we kind of don't talk about what happens here.
Are there signs that The Family had anything to do with the Stupak-Pitts amendment? I mean, this is quite a legislative coup that they've pulled off.
Well, you have to consider that Congressman Pitts is what The Family calls a core member. This is a little bit like being the board of directors. You can go online and find video of him talking about what the objectives of the group is to create a God-led government. He has worked over the years to prevent not only abortion, but AIDS education overseas and so on. This has been a lifelong project for him, going back years and years and years. Stupak is a little bit newer to this issue, and I think what you really have to question here is Pitts, who's been active in this for a long time and was bringing up these amendments. I think in Stupak and his brother in The Family, as it's called, found a Democrat to carry the issue for him.
So you think that this legislative work reflects more the skills, connections, background of Congressman Pitts than it does Bart Stupak?
Yeah, well, with respect to Congressman Stupak, nobody ever called him the brightest bulb on the porch. Everybody likes him. He's a good guy. Pitts is a guy who has been doing this for a long time. When he was a state legislator, he was head of a national state legislators groups that was really doing anti-abortion work on the state level before anyone was really paying attention to it. He is a long-term strategist, and I think we really have to look at that broader connection at how he played this issue.
Well, let me ask you about some of the other conventional wisdom here, because the sort of conventional explanation for this is that this anti-abortion amendment to health reform resulted mostly from the Catholic bishops pressuring Catholic politicians to support it. But I know that you think that it's bigger than that. Can you explain why?
Well, I think it's unfair to Catholics. I think it's unfair to evangelicals. First of all, most of the press is focused on Catholics, despite the fact that a number of the congressmen involved in this are not Catholic, including Congressman Pitts, including Congressman Schuler, who you mentioned. And frankly, the majority of American Catholics are pro-choice. And that's not true of the majority of American evangelicals. I think it's a very comfortable story to tell ourselves that this is just traditional Catholic conservatism, rather than facing the fact that there is a growing and new conservative evangelical influence within the Democratic Party.
We have talked a little bit about this in the past, but I mean, obviously, because we've been talking about a form of conservatism and how this religious movement dovetails in many ways with a lot of conservative agenda items, do you feel like we've overlooked, or generally speaking, it's been overlooked, how conservative Democrats are part of this too?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, conservative Democrats have made this happen. I mean, look, here we are with a fully Democratic government, and Joe Pitts and his colleagues like Chris Smith and so on have just achieved a goal that they could not achieve during 8 years of Bush, and they've done it with Democratic help, and they've done it with, I think it's crucial, is you have to look at the traditional Catholic pro-life votes, respect those, but look at the new influence of evangelical Democrats like Heath Schuler, traditional evangelical Democrats like Joe Pitts, and you see a growing movement within the Democratic Party that we just haven't faced up to yet.
Jeff Sharlet, author of The Family, The Secret Fundamentalism at the Heart of American Power, and contributing editor at Harper's Magazine. Thanks very much for joining us again, Jeff. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Rachel.
Two things to tell you. First, earlier on the show this hour, Jeff Sharlet inadvertently said that Joe Pitts is a Democrat. He's a Republican. Sorry about that. And Anna Marie Cox is our next guest. Stand by.